Did that. And I'm sounding out. Hello, hello. Just trying to go live everywhere. So, what we're going to do is we're going to count on the abacus. Hello, Jacob. I just wanted to let you know we're counting on the abacus. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is what we're doing. We're counting on the abacus. Why? Because an abacus is the greatest thing next to sliced bread. So, what we're going to do is we're going to count. And some people are like, well, what is this thing? This thing is a counting tool, and this thing helps us understand how to read the abacus. What we're going to do is we're going to first learn how to read the abacus, and then we can go into subtraction and multiplication and addition and division. Thank you for the hearts. Hey, welcome, Ethan. Hey, I don't know if you were around there, Ethan, but Alma had asked me a question, and I finally figured out what my answer is. All right, so we can either do that. Okay, you know what? Let's do that. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you notice, we're counting on the abacus, right? We're counting on the abacus, and this is 4. How do I know that this is 4? This 4 is being touching this horizontal bar. Because the bead is touching the horizontal bar, we are now counting 4. Because this is 4, this is 5. This is 5. How do I know that this is 5? Because this bead is touching the horizontal bar. That's all that really means. This horizontal bar tracks our numbers. Because the numbers are now tracked, we know that this is hello, hello. We have 5. So we have 5, and then we have 6. Because we have 6, how do we know 6? Because this is the top bead. This top bead is 5. So we have 5, 6, and then 7, and then 8, and then 9, and then after 9 we have 10. We have 10. After 10, if you notice, we are looking at how to read the abacus. Oh, yeah, this is be good. Okay, so let's start over. Let's start over. So the first thing we're going to do is understand how to read the abacus. Hello, hello, welcome, 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 everybody. So what we're going to do is this is 0. This means that this is 0. When this is 0, that means none of the beads are touching the horizontal bar. Because none of the beads are touching the horizontal bar, we are now considered this is 0. So when we look, this is 1. When we do this, that is 1. How do I know? Because the bead is touching the horizontal bar. Because the bead is touching the horizontal bar, we are now at 1. And then we have 2. This is 2, right? Number 2, and then 2 beads. That's all that means, 2 beads. This is easy. How easy is this? Hello, Wee Fan. Thank you so much for the flowers. Daisies? I think they're daisies. So we have 3. When we look at it, we have 3. 1, 2, 3. Because this is 3, this is counted, right? They're touching the horizontal bar. Just pay this. That's all it is. It's really, really what it is that's so easy. I'm telling you, we've fan page. Look, your number is 28. So we go 20 and then we 8. How do I know that's 28? Because the top bead will always be 5 no matter what. So if I did this, this is all counted as 5. Excuse me. So this is all counted as 5. So I'm going to zero it out. When I zero it out, then I do this. This is 4. How do I know? Because there's 4 beads touching and they're all singing Kumbaya. Because they're singing Kumbaya, they are touching the horizontal bar. Then they're touching each other. Kumbaya. I don't know if anybody knows what that is. But anyways, this is now 4. How do we go after 4? Oh, WWE, by the way. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Okay, so we have 4, and then the top beat is 5. The top beat will always be 5. Is it really WWE or is it WWW? Did you know? Okay, anyways. So we have 5, and then we have 6. How do I know we have 6? Well, we have 6 because if you notice, the top bead is a value of 5. Just as we have here, the top bead is a value of 5, right? This is the 5. And then when we add 1, it is 6. So when we're looking at it, we know how to read 5, 6. And then we have 7. We have 8. We have 9. After 9, right? After 9, because that's what 9 looks like. After 9, we have 10. Well, what does 10 look like? Just as how we write 10. We have 1 and a 0. Thank you, Ethan, for letting me know. So it's WWE, not we. Yes, it used to be worldwide. It used to be World Wrestling. It used to be WWE. Was it WWE? There was another one, Worldwide. Oh, it used to be WWF. That's what I remember. It used to be a long time ago. It used to be called WWF. but then the Worldwide Fund actually took it instead. That's how old I am. Yeah. Anyways, so we have 11. We have 11. How do I know? 1 and 1. Thank you for the follow. So we have 1, 11. We have 11, and then we have 12. That is 12. Yeah, it used to be long time ago, WWE used to be WWF. I forgot what F stood for. Federation. Ha! That's what it was. World Wrestling Federation. Long time ago. But that's how old I am. All right. So after 12, right, we can do the same thing. We could do 13, 14, and then 15. We have 15. How do I know this is 15? Because this top bead is considered, girl is secretly Google. No, I'm just old. Uh, so 15, this is one, and this is one, and then this is five. Notice we have five. The top bead will always be five. The five, and so this is five. So this is not 55. This is 65. How do I know? Because, oh, I've lost a follower. Oh, you lost, followed. Oh, funny. Sorry. So this is 60. How do I know that this is 60? 60 is because this is the wrong one. 60 is because if I look at each of the columns, it has place values. Ones, tens, hundred, thousands, 10,000. So when we look at it, hey, Agnes, thank you, abacus. Yes, do you know how to read it? This is fantastic. So we're going to do 15. So we have fit 1 and a 5. After 15, we have 16 and then 17, 18 and then 19. Thank you so much for sharing my live. So we have 19. Are we good? Are we ready? We're tracking like a horizontal bar. Because what does a horizontal bar? A horizontal bar tracks our beads. Because the horizontal bar tracks our beads, we could do this. And that's 20. Because this is 20, we have 21, 22, 23, 24, and then 25. We're ready? Are we ready to, spammer 19. That's funny. So then this would be 125. After that, this would be 225. I'm going to homeschool next year. Woo! Really? Nice. Thank you. You know what? Depending on how old your kids are, or how old you are, and you're going to be homeschooling, if you really want to, I have worksheets. So these worksheets are available on the other platform. You know that other selling platform. So the other selling platform, that's my name. That's my name. So you can actually buy my worksheets. And then if you actually go to my website, I do sell worksheets. I do sell worksheets at my website. I'm starting to funnel more worksheets through the funnel. So then what in my website I sell digital products so you can download them, or if you want you can go to Teachers Pay Teachers. Teachers Pay Teachers has a little bit as well. So but I don't think you can find my name with this one as Teachers Pay Teachers. Maybe I change my name on Teachers Pay Teachers, and it will be it's this one. That's my name. This one's my name. Oh, Teachers Pay Teachers. It's learning hyphen with Lynette. That's the Teachers Pay Teachers. Oh, you're going to go, oh, okay. Then you know what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to read the abacus. After we learn how to read the abacus, we can start going into doing doing formulas. You know what? I just found out abacus calls it formulas, but what's going to happen is we're going to start talking about formulas, but in the mainstream math they call it equations. And I'm like, "What? That's an equation?" So yeah, we're going to call it equation. No, it's called an expression. That's what it is. It's called an expression. So, yeah, I'm still in the process of making my books. I have another one that's a maze. I like the maze. I like the maze. So the maze is the first thing we're going to do here is understand how to read the abacus. So when we learn how to read the abacus, yeah, I'm going to have like adult workbooks. I didn't realize there's so many people that were so interested in the adult workbooks. But yeah, I was trying to go into one direction. Now I'm going to go in another direction. But that's great. I'm excited for this. Okay, so we know how to read the abacus. Are we all good? Are we good? So what's going to happen is, let me look at my papers. When I do this, what number do you think this is? I'm going to move this. I'm going to move that. Let's move that. I don't want to confuse anybody. What number do you think this is? Looking. Yes, thank you, Ethan. We have 825. Not maybe. It's not maybe. Oh, that was a really late answer. So, Agnes, we're going to do 800. How do I know it's 800? Because we have hundreds, tens, and ones. So, when we look at it, we have 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we have 2, right? At the I was going to say 300. Almost, kind of. So, what we're going to do is we're going to do 2, this is 20, and then this is 5. All the top beat has a value of 5. So when we look, we have 825. Oh, you know what then? You know what then? You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do some abacus maze. We're gonna do some abacus maze because it seems like that you guys need to practice a little bit and to do a conversion. All right, this is what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. Whoa, yeah, this is what we're gonna do. So here is my 800. How is it 800? Ha ha ha. 800? Here, let me show you. Let me go back. So 800, right? This 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 800 in my hundreds column. Why? Because this is my ones. When I look at it, this dot is my indicator that this is my ones place. So my ones, tens, hundreds. This is 800. That is how it's 800. And then this is 2. It's a little different because it's, farther away. But when I bring it up to I'm gonna put it in your face. In your face. Do you know what I'm talking about? I know that one. So this one is 20. I remember him. I remember The Rock when he was starting at WWE. That's how old I am. So this is 200. This is 20. And then this is 5. So when we look, we have 825. Does that make sense? What of the top piece represents the 5 then? Yes. And the left gets bigger, and yes, exactly. So when we look at it, just as we have our place values, ones, tens, hundred thousands, 10,000, how do you subtract and add using the abacus? I thought The Rock was Wayne Johnson. It is the same. Ethan, The Rock and Dwayne Johnson are the same people. How do you add and subtract on the abacus using the abacus numbers? We are going to get there, Kat. The first thing we need to do is understand how to read the abacus. So when I did that, right, so the question is, let's do a little maze. Let's do a little maze. If we can do that, then I can show you how to, I will show you the real world. I remember using this as a kid. Oh, cool. Cool. All right. So if we have this number, let me see if I can. Let's see. Okay, we have this number. What number is this? If I have, oh, come on. That does not work. No, no, no. Oh, that didn't work. All right, never mind. So much for that one, because I don't want to be doing this. All right, we'll go back to here. We'll go back to here. Here, sorry. This is cool. Okay, I've never learned this at my school. No, it's a secret. I'm telling you my secrets. So what we're going to do is we're going to read the abacus. The first thing we're going to do is understand what this number is. So in the chat, tell me what number you think this is. If I showed you this number, because we're going to start here, this is part of my, let's see if I could do that. Maybe that's better. Yeah, there we go. So this is part of my understanding how to read the abacus. When we read the abacus, what number do you think this is? So if this number is 5, 6, 7, 8, so I show that. That's what it looks like. And then we do another one. 5, 6, 7, 8. And then what number is that? So what number is this? Ah, thank you. Hey, Liz, Agnes. Oh, almost Agnes. We didn't do the 9. This is the 9. This is what 9 looks like. 993. That's what that looks like. So I'm going to color this in. And then my next number is this. What number do you think this is? Oh, yeah, just a little bit. So, WWE fan. WWE. I'm going to call you. Right? So we have 1, 2, 3, and then the 5, and then 5, 6, 7. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. We'll be here all night. I can't believe The Undertaker is still wrestling. You know how old he is? He's like so old. So, yes. Okay, so we have this number, and then this number. There's a lot of things. Like I remember Triple H as a wrestler. That's what I remember. I remember Triple H as a wrestler. So yes, Liz. So then it's 8, 6, 2. Good. 8, 5, 6, and then 2. So that's this one over here. So the next one is this one over here. We have, okay, we have this. So these are 3 digits. We're practicing how to read 3 digits. What number is that? What? John Cena? Well, he's old too. Holy cow, man. He's so old. He's like, yeah, he's old too. But he's such a funny character. 780. Yes, good. I don't know if you remember like who China is, but I remember China and it was like, whoa. So, but I don't know if she's around anymore. So what number is that? Um, Oh yeah, there we go. 6, 10. Yes. Have you basically seen Arza in there? She basically spits out blue. I don't know who that is. I don't know the new kids. Thank you. 610. So we're here and then here. Okay. So what's the next one? The next one is this. So after this, after we do some bead recognition, oh sorry, after we do bead recognition, we're gonna do some, hey Neon Panther, we are going to do some adding and subtracting. That's what we're gonna do. Thank you, Neon Panther. Yes. Thank you, Liz. Yes. So we're gonna do this one. Yep. 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 So then after that, we have this. I'm gonna do that, that, and that. Yeah, I don't, Trish. Oh, Trish. Wow. What? She came back? She's old. Oh, man. Whew. I haven't kept up. It's been a long time. 9, because that's 9, and then this is 5, and then this is 8. Yes, so 9, 5, 8. I don't keep up anymore. I used to when I had more time, but now I don't have time. And I don't have 1, 2, 3. Oh, 3. That's 3. This is 0, and then what is this? This is, yeah. So yeah, that was in 2018. Yeah, yeah, I remember Trish. I think the thumbtacks are real in the right. Everything is real. Everything is real. 307. Yes, 307. So that's 307. So we're gonna do this. So and then we have this number, and then that. How are we doing? Are we okay? How are we doing on that? What number are we doing? Thank you, Liz. Yeah, we're just so it's wrestling and math. Neon Panther. Agnes, what we're going to do is we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 4, and then we have 5. This is 5, right? The only bead. And then notice there's none of the beads touching here. So yeah, okay, good. Okay, good. And then we have 2. Okay, good. So we're okay. We're okay. We're okay. We got it. We got it. It could be fat thumbing it. Fat thumbing. That's a thing. That is a thing. When I had my kids, yeah. Anyways, so husband was a little nervous and he couldn't dial the number and he fat thumbed everything. One. Thank you. Good. Thank you, Agnes, Liz, and WWE. And hey, Miro, welcome back. Welcome back. So we're just doing a little bit of bead recognition. Some bead recognition. The only thing we're doing is following this maze. And it looks like this maze is working out well. So we have this number. What number is that? Can I do that? Yeah, there we go. There we go. Right. 86. Yes, 86. Easy, right? Easy. Thank you, Neon. And then we have our last one. We have this. My abacus just showed up yesterday. Oh, hey! That's fantastic. Good, Agnes. Good, Ethan. Good, Liz. Good, Neon. So we can actually start doing stuff together. Hey, Miro. Yes. Good job. Good job. Okay, so that is my maze. That's going to be part of my book. My book. Oh, I can show you. I can show you my book, actually. So this is what the cover is for the book. So I have, that's the, so I'm going to do like a little series. So I have my book, and it's going to be published out into the Amazon. I think I'm going to try to do in TikTok Shop too. And then that's this 2-digit is what we just did the 3-digit. So I have the 3-digit book, and then I have the 4-digit coming up. Can you explain a bit more of the maze, like you color it in? Oh yeah. So what I did, let me show you. So what I did is we find the answer Let me go back. Okay, so Ethan, what we did is we find the answer from the abacus. In this box, we found the answer. When we know what the answer is, then we follow the path. WWE, we're actually gonna do some adding and subtracting. But what this is just the beginning part. Because what we need to know is we need to understand how to read the abacus. So, Ethan, does that make sense? Like, why did I color it in so I can see the path that I'm going? That's the reason why. I mean, you don't need to, right? You don't need to do, but I like to because I like to see it. But yeah, and then what I did is I color in the abacus because I like to color it in. I was trying to make it interactive as well, and so I didn't want to be like just read the abacus. What I wanted to do was like make it a little pretty. So that's why I made this. So as you understand how to read the abacus, you just follow the path. Does that make sense, Ethan? So this one was 780. So I followed the path. So I just colored it in just so I know where I'm going, so I know I don't have to go back in again. Does that make sense? So it was one of those things, right? Um, and mine's erasable just because I'm doing a lot of lives. So it does end, yes. So we start from here. There's a start, and then I have at the bottom where's an end. So that's what it is. Hello, Sir Patrick. So what's going to happen is there's always going to be an end. So every maze has an end. Yes, every maze has an end, and the idea is that so this is the 2 digit. So if you notice we did 2 digit. Did you guys want to do 2 digit? We can do 2 digit. Or we can start going into adding and subtracting. So yeah, okay. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. So, Sir Patrick, guess what we're doing? We're doing some bead recognition. Have you ever thought of making 5 digit? Yes, I was going to do 5 digit and I was going to do decimals with it. So it's going to be 3, it was going to be 3 and then 2 decimals. Yeah. So, oh yeah, so Sir Patrick, so just so you know, I made a maze how to do bead recognition. And so what I do is I'm making my worksheets and I have, oh, that's what it is. If I look, so then this is book one of this series. So this is doing 1 digit puzzles. It's like 26 mazes. And then I do it again for 3 digit. And then I do it again for 4 digit. And then there's going to be a 5 digit, but it's going to be 2 decimals and a 3 digit. Just to practice our bead recognition. Thanks. Yeah. It's been interesting. There's a lot of people that have been commenting on it. So, 61. Where are we? You're right. You're right. Thank you. WW doesn't make why make it separate? Does it have it has a lot of pages. It's about 100 pages. And then if you're gonna color it in, I have one blank side. Boom! Right? See? But see, the thing is, just so you know, WWE, just so you know, oh, that's the wrong one. Um, abacus is only for adding, subtraction, multiplication, and division. That's all we're doing here, right? So we can do multiplication, division, and we can do decimals, but that's about it. You're going to still need to take your calculus, your trig, your whatever else you're going to be doing. But it does help, if that makes sense. So what's my next number? What's my next number? Thank you so much for liking my live. Can you do like fractions and percentages? Thank you, Neon. One, two, three. Yes, you could do fractions because fraction is just another way of writing division. Thank you, WWE. So yes, you can do fractions. Thank you. Thank you, Sir Patrick. Agnes, good job. So, I laugh because Sir Patrick is an abacus teacher. So I appreciate you contributing, Sir Patrick. We have this number. What's that number? So Ethan, I'm ooting this instead. What? You're coding this instead? 51. Or oding this. ODing. Oh. Your feet. Yeah, I'm doing this. Or are you ODing? Yes. Yes, Atticus. I was going to make a little video, but I didn't have time to make the documentary. Oh my god. Hilarious. Hilarious. Atticus. What number do we have here? Oh no, I blew it out. I blew it out. Hi, Charlotte. Welcome back. 64. 6 and then 4. Yes, yes. Great job. Great job, everybody. Okay, what's the next number? This one is. So after we do this, yesterday I hit 200. Whoop, whoop. Good job. 3. Exactly. 3. So pretty soon WWE will have their own live. And then I'm waiting for Sir Patrick to go live because Sir Patrick's going to go live. Thank you, Neon Panther. Sir Patrick's going to go live and we're going to be bombarding him too. But there's going to be a lot of questions. So I have, what number is this? I have 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then I have that. So what is that number? Now can you go, now you can go live at, oh, really? No way. Hey, Jake. Ah, that's nice. You know what? You do a lot. You do a lot with. I do learn a lot going live. I'll tell you that. So, how's it going, Jake? Okay, what number are we at? We're at this number. Oh, 75. Neon Panther. Good job. Nice, nice. I've I can even go live with 11. Oh, really? Wow. Okay. So we're gonna have to go over to we're gonna have to go to Ethan's too next. So this is 5 because sometimes when I crash and when I crash, I'll go do some doom scrolling. I'll have to go check it out. I just don't know what to do if I was live. You know what? You find it. A. You find it. You just find it. Just start or just press live and see what happens. See what people are asking because people will be like, "What are you doing?" And you'll be like, "I don't know." Okay, what number is this? What number is that? You know what? You know what? You could talk about your grades. You could talk about, woo, Ethan. Yep, 25. Okay, good. 25. We're almost done. We're almost done. So yeah, it'd be great. I mean, you could talk about so WWE, you could talk about WWE. You could talk about how you like it. Oh, good. Good job, Neon Panther 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. Thank you, Jake. And then our last one is survey says one. Oh, I should show. So before and then 2. Thank you, Panther. Yes, thank you. Good job, everybody. Yes, good job, everyone. I don't do too much compliment. But yes, you guys did so well. Okay, so now we know how to read the abacus. We are good. Being an abacus teacher good is being an abacus good or I have time to escape to choose another future job. Adding, yes, we're going to be adding right now. It depends on how much you want to be an abacus teacher, but the thing is you're going to be a teacher, and not too many people pay for teachers. So I'm trying to build a business, and that's why I have my digital products. So I don't know. I mean, you could try. I'm not here to. I'm not here for. I'm not here for. I really don't know. I'm trying this out. I'm trying to see if I can like support my family for this. So that's why I have like a bunch of products. So I don't know. Is the salary good though? That's my number one question. It depends on what you're trying to do with it. Like, are you going to another school? Then I don't think it's going to be the salary's not that good. If you really think it for the heart, me, Jake. If you really wanted like a good one, then I would always go towards like computer programming. That's where I came from, and that's what I understand. That's what I know. I decided to do this because it's a passion of mine, and I really believe that I can change the world with the abacus. So that's why. Um, so if you're looking for your own child in your own work, because I know you're pretty young. I don't know if I would be a teacher as a young child. I think, or as a young adult. I think what I would do is I'll try to go into like VA work, try to do my own business. I would try to like become a coder. I'd try to probably become a coder. Oh yeah, thank you for figuring out my issues. Yeah, not a problem, Jake. Not a problem. I'm so excited. Honestly, I didn't ban you because it didn't ban you because you were being sincere and you bought something. So that, it helps, but you can't be asking people. You can't be asking people to go on your live. That's not appropriate. That's not etiquette. That's not proper etiquette, just so you know. Can I become a hacker instead? You can be a white hacker. if that makes sense. A white hat hacker, you could do that. You could, Ethan, you could be a white hat hacker if you want to be a hacker. I wouldn't be a black hat because that just means you want to be destructive. But you can like do security. If you enjoy it, you could do security and cyber security if that's what you enjoy. When I graduate, I'm going to try to be a WD superstar. Good luck. Good luck. That's a hard life. That's a very hard life, WWE. Because there's a lot of no namers, and there's a lot of people trying to get it. You really have to have a personality. So if you can do it, that's fantastic. But I mean, like, like The Rock, he had personality. John Cena, he had personality. And I mean, there's not too many women who are superstars, but there are a few. So anyways, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna add. When we add, the first thing we're going to do is understand. I want to travel the world, like, and they do that. Yeah, yeah, it is a tough life. It's an entertaining life, right? So you're going to be it's a struggle until you hit big, but you got to put in the work, right? Just like what I'm doing. I'm putting in the work to make sure that everybody understands what the abacus is. So, what we're going to do is we're going to add the one. So we add the one. Now, why are we doing this? Because we want to see what the one looks like. When we add the bead, we're only adding the one bead. When we add the one bead, it doesn't matter which bead as long as it's one. So this is two. I'm going to add one bead. Notice in school, we focus on the result. But what we do in abacus world is we focus on the add-in. When we focus on the add-in, we want to make sure we understand how to add where the number it is. Does that make sense? So what happens is in school we're only given two add-ins, and that's like, okay, that's fine. You kind of see what the numbers are, but that's not what it is in abacus. In abacus, we actually have more than just two numbers. Sometimes we get to like four numbers. When we get to four numbers or three numbers, you can't really see what the answer is. So there's no point of seeing what the answer is. There's no point of going towards the result. What it is you need to understand how to read the abacus. So when I look at it, I'm adding one. Now, it's a simple thing to add the one, right? It's just like counting forward. But understanding how to move the beads is what we're trying to accomplish. So it's the same thing with plus the two. When we add the two, it's the same thing. Why? Because we're just having the one, so that's the one bead. I'm sorry, five. This is five. That's five, and I'm going to add two. I'm adding these two beads. It doesn't matter if it's these two beads, and it doesn't matter if it's these two beads. So if I had six plus two, it's only these two beads. When will we do like triple digit? I will have to try to come back. Okay, I'll see you later. Yeah, I'm live all the time. Ethan will vouch. So I'll see you later. This is really interesting. As someone from Sweden, where many students, here's what? I don't know what HSRE is. Where so many students, maths. Oh, hate. That's really interesting. And Agnes, I do have a few people from Sweden, Norway, Finland, and they all come through my life. So here's a question. Did I change your mind on maths? So what we're doing is we're learning to read the abacus. So we went through understanding how to read the abacus. Now we're just adding. Simple adding. What does that mean? Simple adding means we're just moving the beads. Do I have enough is the biggest question. Do I have enough? So when I have this, I have six, and I'm going to plus the two. I'm going to add two. This is the question here. I'm going to add two. I only need to add these two beads, right? So, and again, we do the same thing. We do the same thing with the three. When I have zero, right? When I have zero and I want to add the three, I'm just going to move these three beads, right? Does that make sense? That's all. That's really easy. This is really simple. Excuse me. So then I do it again, and I do it again. Agnes, abacus made me like math even more because it became interactive and fun. Yeah. All right. So the first thing, okay, yeah. So then what are we going to do is we have four. We have four, and then the next number is five. We just add the five. Notice that all we're doing is we're just moving beads. So the biggest question on right now in this phase of learning how to read the abacus is, do we have enough beads? So when we know how to add, we will know how to subtract. We learn how to add. We did 2 plus 2. We added, right? Now, how do you do minus? Minus is only just moving away from the horizontal bar. That's all we're going to be doing. So when we take away 1, we're taking away from the horizontal bar. They're no longer singing kumbaya. I don't know if you know what that means, but there's like a Christian terminology where they start singing and they sing kumbaya. Kumbaya. I'm not Christian, but that's what I remember. So here, so we did the -1. After -1, we have -2. Again, we focus on the add-in. What does that mean? We only focus on the number that we're trying to either add or subtract. So we have 3. I have 3 on my abacus. When I take away 2, I'm only taking away these 2. Thank you, Faye, for liking my live. So does that mean thank you so much? Okay, does that make sense? So we're just taking away 2. So again, we're taking away the 3. Now we take away 3. We have 4. We're going to have 4. And then we want to take away 3. The question is always, do I have enough to take away the 3? I do. I have enough to take away the 3. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. I don't do 1, 2, 3. I do 3, right? Just as we talk about in groups. We always talk about in groups. So there's no point of doing 1, 2, 3 because that's just, we want to be more efficient, right? So as you read the abacus, you'll become more and more efficient. It's called subitizing. So when we do this, I know that this is 6. How do I know? Because we have 5 and we have 6. Ah, thank you so much for liking live. All right, so that's -3 and then -4. We're okay? So then after -4 doesn't have very many questions because you get 9. Oops, sorry. You get 9 and you just take away the 4. There's not a whole lot of numbers that minus the 4. Hey, Bathroom Chronicles. That's funny. All right, so we did 4, right? We did 4. Now we're going to add the 5. We're adding the 5. Adding the 5 just means it comes down. So when it comes down like this, we're adding 5. How do you take away 5? It's the opposite. All you got to do is remove it away from the horizontal bar. Make sense? Is that easy? So we add the 5 and we take away the 5. Add the 5, take away the 5. That's all we're doing. So 6. We're just going through we're going through step by step. The reason why is because sometimes it gets a little bit tricky. Does it get tricky? No. It's just how you see it. So we go through the steps to understand the fundamentals. When we understand the fundamentals, so we just added 6, and now what I want to do is take away the 6. Notice I take away the 5 and I take away the 6. I take away the 1 and I take away the 5. Does that make sense? So it gets tricky if you're still starting. It does get tricky if you're still starting. And that's why I have to remember. I mean, I've been teaching for more than 20 years. So I forget what it's like to how foreign this is. And sometimes I feel like that I should go faster in my explanation. But then I realize it does help that that everybody stays on the same track, because we're going to go towards the more adding. We're going to go towards more adding and subtracting, a little bit more complex. But the first thing we then need to do is understand how to move the beads. Thank you so much for the comment, Ethan. Thank you. I appreciate you, Ethan. Thank you so much for helping me. So here's 7. We're adding 7. And how do we do it? We add the 1. Hello, Gabby. Welcome back. So we have the 1. Thank you for the share, Bathroom Chronicles. I really like that name. Okay. I like this already. Oh, yes, thank you. So we're gonna do 5 and then we do 6, 7. We do 7 because that's what we're doing. We're focusing on 7. So we do 5, 6, 7. So we bring it together like that. We bring it together. So again, we add the 7. We need to take away the 7. So we add the 7, take away the 7. Notice I'm doing something called, what's it called? It's number patterns. There's all these terminologies that we never use in abacus. I just never use it. I never use it because anyways. So in mainstream math, we talk about all these terminologies, but in abacus, we're just like, just add the 7, just minus the 7, just do it. But in mainstream math, we talk about number patterns, and we talk about number fluency, and we talk about number flexibility. It'll get more. There's a lot more terminologies I'm looking into. So now the one I found out was expression. I'm like, oh my God. So anyways, So we did, okay, we did the 7. We're done with the 7. I'm done with it. I got to go to 8. So we add the 1, right? We add 1 and then we add 8. Again, it's 5, 6, 7, 8. So we add the 8 and then we can minus the 8 when we minus the 8, right? Does that make sense? So we see the number pattern. We see plus the 5 and then 3. We add the 3 or take away the 3. So depending on what we're trying to do, we're going to be adding the 3 or taking away the 8 or adding the 8. Does that make sense? So, okay, abacus is basically removing bits by bit while seeing what's the number after left. Yes, exactly. We're actually just moving the beats, and that's what it is. Thank you, Ethan. That is exactly what it is. So 9, there's not too many to add the 9, so all we got to do is just add the 9. That's it. There's not too many questions in the abacus, in general, how to add the 9 without going into formulas. So what's going to happen is, well, what happens when you don't have enough beads? That's the biggest question. The big question is what happens if you don't have enough beads? If you don't have enough beads, then we start to have to go into some formulas. That's when we have to do some modification. So the first thing we're going to do is understand, and that's where this comes into effect. Well, what does that mean? This means that we're going to start going into formulas. What is this formula? What does that mean? Well, we have this sentence. This is called addition sentence. It's I think it's called an addition. Is abacus used more for keeping track of what numbers you have to add? So easier. Yes, exactly. Abacus is meant for tracking your numbers. That's all it is. Abacus is just a tracking number tool. That's all it is. But it's amazing what happens when you see it. You can do adding, subtraction, multiplication, and division. But yes, you're absolutely right. All we're doing is we're tracking the numbers. Oh, my mini donuts. Woo! I like that name. Anyways, so, but there's also a method behind it when you think and how you think. And we're going to go through that right now. We're going to go through that right now because in abacus, we have a specific method. When we look in school, we're teaching this. We're being taught this. 1 plus 4 is equal to 5. I don't know if that's what happens in Sweden, right? Do you talk about this? So this is what we call commutative property. But we are teaching the kids, because I'm in California, so we're teaching the kids what 1 plus 4 is equal to 5 and 1 plus 4 is equal to 5 and 4 plus 1 is equal to 5. This is what we're teaching in American math. I don't know if that's what they're teaching in Sweden. The reason why I'm talking about this is because we're going to actually utilize this. We're going to use, oh, okay, good. So then this is going to be very familiar with me. So the difference is, so I'm going to call it mainstream math, just so that we're all on the same page. Because that's the thing, like, I don't know what they're teaching outside of America. That's why. We call them Fives Friends. Oh, interesting. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. In abacus world, we call it just the friends, and then there's big friends, small friends. But abacus has its own separate thinking. Okay, anyways, so when we call it, we have our friends. When we have our friends, exactly what we're doing, I want to get my little, we're going to do the 4. We're doing the 4. I need to find my little, I need to find my little friend. Sorry, I'm trying to find my, here it is. Okay, got it. So, okay, that's really good to know. Thank you so much, Agnes, for letting me know. Because I do want to know, like, how the mainstream world works it. The reason why is because it's very different. Just anything. Okay, because I want to be inclusive. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to isolate the variable. Why are we going to do that? Because if you notice, my question, sorry, I forgot my question. My question is, where's my question? Here's my question. So I have a question. My question is 2. Let's do 2. 2, and I put 2 on the abacus. And then the question is add the 4. Well, I want to add the 4. Thank you, Katie, for liking my live. I want to add the 4. What? I don't have enough beats to add the 4. I only have 2 beats. This is where we start talking about this concept of Fives Friends, right? This is the concept we're talking about. Now, we can't use it like this. We have to modify it. This is stock. I don't want it to be stock. I don't know if you guys know Tokyo Drift from Cartoons, but I just realized. Yes, thank you, Neon Panther. Exactly. So what the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at our equation. We're going to look at our pair. And what we need to do is we need to isolate the variable. The variable that we're going to isolate is the 4. What we got to do is we have to find the 4. This is very similar to algebra. So what Neon Panther just did was we want to make the 4 by itself. To make the 4 by itself, we need to subtract 1 from each side of the equation. So we have 4 is equal to 5. Notice if they're equal, they're not equal. They're unbalanced. We need to make it equal, so we're going to minus the 1. So thank you, Neon Panther, for letting me know how to utilize the formula. Now this is a modification. This modified, what do you call it, expression that we're doing, because it's plus the 5, we're going to add the 5. Notice it's too much. When we add the 5, it's too much. We want to take away the 1, and now it's balanced. Now the world is balanced. So my final answer is 6. Hi, blank. Blan. Hi, Blan. Does that make sense, Agnes? So what did we just do? We understood how to utilize our formula. We call it formula in the abacus world. I think in the mainstream world, we would call it an expression, because this is a plus the 5 and minus the 1. So this expression is what's being used. We will memorize this expression a lot. So let's do another one. We can do another one. This is how versatile knowing our expression. So again, we want to plus the 3. Yes, and then subtract. Yes. So we're going to do a 3. We're going to add a 3, and then we're going to minus the 4. I'm going to add the 4. When I add the 4, I need to plus the 5, and I take away the 1. And my answer is 7. Does that make sense? So, okay, so what happens? Well, we did the plus, right? We did the 4. There's the other 2 that we could do. We could do 3, or we could do 2, or we could do 1. So this whole set, right? This whole set we can actually do. This is a whole set. Technically root beer. That's a good username. So does that make sense? This is actually a set. So we can do a full set. Where is my little flippy thing? So if you look, trying to find. So we can do, when we add the 1, right, we can plus the 5 minus the 4. So the question would be 4 plus 1. Cannot plus 1. So what do we do? Okay, have a good night, Ethan. Yes, it's very late. Thank you for joining me. So plus the 1, right? Plus the 1 is minus the 5, as plus the 5, and then take away the 4. We can do it again with 2, right? If we do a 2, notice I don't have enough beads to add the 2. What do? Plus the 2 is what? Plus the 2 is plus the 5 minus 3. Does that make sense, Agnes? Neon Panther, does that make sense? Are we all right? So if we did 3, we have 4. 3 plus 4. 4 plus 3. 4 plus 3 is what? 4 plus 3 is plus the 5. Take away the 2. Yes? Right? Welcome to the real world. But see, this is what it is. We're looking at this pattern. We're looking at this pattern. When you look at this pattern, we're always using this 5. We're utilizing this 5. This 5 is now being utilized. There is no freeloading. There's no freeloading numbers. The numbers are not freeloaders. I don't want freeloader numbers. Does that make sense? Right? So no freeloading numbers. What we're going to do is we're going to utilize the numbers. So now we know how to add. Okay, now the difference is in mainstream math, we were taught to memorize 4 plus 4. 4 plus 4 is equal to 8. In abacus world, we do not memorize we don't memorize strategies like that. What we do memorize is our formula. So we do 4, and I want to add another 4, I just go back to my formula. I go back to my expression. I plus the 5 and minus the 1. My answer is 8. So my formula is more versatile than memorizing the doubles. That's what doubles is. 4 plus 4. 3 plus 3. But notice the plus only happens in the plus. There is no minus because it'd just be 0. Okay? So now we know how to add. We know how to add. What happens? Well, what happens is now we know how to subtract. Now we're building and we're compounding our information. We're compounding the understanding. So we have 4 minus 1 equals minus 5. Does that make sense? So again, how are we going to do it? Well, the question is 8 minus 4. Let's do that. 8 minus 4. We don't have any more. We want to isolate the variable. This is what we do. We want to isolate the variable. When we isolate the variable, what happens? We're going to move the 1 to the other side. You get the same answer, but different thinking. Yes. Yes, it's a different method. Abacus is a method of understanding. So here is minus the 4 is equal to minus the 5 plus the 1. And I feel like the abacus is more versatile, and it doesn't require too much remembering. So when we do it, again, if I had my abacus, not if, when I have my abacus, I do 8. I'll put 8 on the abacus. I notice I cannot take away the 4, so what are we going to do? We're going to minus the 5 and then plus the 1. Remember, minusing the 5 is too much. We need to add the 1. So my final answer is 4. Yes. You get the same answer, but different thinking. Yes. But the difference is, the funny thing is, in school, in school, there's this one parent. Is there a reason you're using a specific column? Yes, yes, I am. That's a very good observation. If you look, I have a dot. This is my indicator. This is my label. My label tells me this is my ones place. So when I look, I can show you if I can find my little papers. Here it is. So just as we have our ones, right? Ones, tens, 100,000, 10,000. So when I look at it, I have my ones, my tens, my thousands, my 10,000. I'm sorry, my ones, my tens, my hundreds, my thousands, and my 10,000s. So that's why. So when I line it up, because I'm using my indicator, this indicator is my ones. It's just a label. This is just a label, just as this is a label. So I know that this is the thousands, just like we do commas, right? In when we write, we have 6,000 comma 043 decimal 10 cents. So yeah, so that would be the decimals. So now we have decimals over here. So it'd be 10 cents. So when I look at it, I could do 6043 point, because remember, the decimal doesn't sit on a place value. It sits between the place values. The decimals does not have a place value. It sits between the place values. So we have our ones, our tenths, and our hundreds. Thank you for the observation, June. Yes, I'm happy when people observe that, because some people are like, oh, it is where it is, but no, there's a specific reason, and there always a question like why. Great, great. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to understand how to, I forgot why I brought this out. I forgot why I brought it out. I'm trying to remember my thought. Yeah. So um what else, what were we doing? I forgot. But yeah, no, that was a good question. So, okay, yeah. So, that's what it was. I got it, I got it, I got it, I got it. So one of the parents was like, you know what? Because, they were just starting to do abacus. They were just starting to do abacus. And they're like, oh, you know what? Isn't 8 plus 5 the same as 5 plus 8? And I'm like, well, yes, but no. Why? Because now we're starting to get into like some more problems. The problem is the second add-in. There's either a first, oh, we didn't do the plus tens. We need to do a plus 10 first. So the first thing I'm going to do is we need to understand how to add a 10. How to add a 10 is, we know how to add a 10. Do you, Agnes, I hope you're still here. Do you guys talk about friends of 10? How to make a 10? Do you guys talk about that? Iowa. Um, yes. Okay. Is it called Friends of 10? I just need to rearrange. I'm trying to be more organized. Okay, so it is called Friends of 10. That's interesting. So what we're trying to, oh, here it is. So we have our tens. We have our tens, the friends of tens. What we're going to do is we're going to do this. Thank you for the follow, June. So we're going to do this, right? Why are we going to do this? Because if you notice, when I have 8, I have 8, and then I'm going to try to plus the 5. You only use it in first grade. We learn 5s, 10s, and 20s. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Here, you know, abacus actually goes all the way to 5th grade. We go all the way to multiplication and division with all of this stuff. And I'll show you how. So here we want to add the 5. When we add the 5, notice I don't have enough beads to add the 5. I don't have enough beads to add the 5. I know my friend, right? I know my friend 10. I know how to make a 10. How to make a 10 is plus the 10 plus the 5. 5 plus 5 is equal to 10. That's what we know, right? So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do a same thing. Notice that there's a pattern. We're going to have our 5. So we have 5 plus 5 is equal to 10. What happens? Well, I want to do the 5. I need to isolate the variable. See how there's a pattern? That's the number pattern. What we're going to do is we're going to move this 5 to this side over here. And when I isolate it, it's 5 is equal to plus the 10 minus the 5. Why do we need to know that? Well, this is where it comes into play. The question is I don't have enough beads to add the 5. So what do I need to do? I'll use my formula. Plus the 10 just means go to the next column over. Plus the 10 minus the 5. So my final answer is 13. Does that make sense? So what I just did was I did a formula, and then my answer is 13. Now, let's take it one step further. Let's do it the other way. Amazing, right? Welcome. Did everybody take their red pill? It's the Matrix. Welcome to the real world. I do a lot of corny things. So now look, this is different. Why? Because we're focusing on the 8. So when we look at it, we have 5, and then we want to take away the 8. We want to add the 8. What are we doing with the 8? It's the same thing. We have our pair. It's exactly the same thing. You'll be fine. Well, when we look at it, what are we going to do? What is it do you think we're going to do? It's the same pattern. The same pattern. If you look at the pattern, what are we going to do? What would the pattern be? What are we going to do? What do you think we're going to do? How about that? You tell me. You tell me. I'm telling you. You tell me. What are we going to do? Same thing. That's the pattern. So if we do the pattern, right? It's 8 plus 2 is equal to 10. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Yes. So we're going to 8 is equal to plus the 10 minus the 2. Yes, exactly what it is. So what does that mean? We're going to plus the 10. We're going to plus the 10, but notice, can't take away the 2. Add different numbers to get the 10, yeah. But the problem is we can't take away the 2. We cannot take, because this is the 5. We cannot take away a 2. If I blew it out, I blew it really quickly. But if you notice, what is the friend of 2? We know the friend of 2 is. But when we do it, right, we do minus. The friend of 2 is the minus. So we have to do subtraction because we need to take away the 2. We need to take away the 2 because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to take away the 2. So to take away the 2, we have to utilize our 5. To utilize the 5 is what? Minus the 5 plus the 2. No, minus the 2. I'm sorry. Minus the 2 is equal to minus the 5 plus the 3. Now, thank you, Neon Panther, right? That makes sense. So what we just did is we built and compounded our information. We minus the 5 and plus the 3. My final answer is 13. So yes, the destination is the same, but the journey is different. Marry the process, divorce the result. That's what that means. Marry the process, divorce the result. Why? Because the result will always be different. Your happiness, I want everybody to be happy, but your happiness, how you get your happiness is different how I get my happiness, right? So what we're trying to do is understand the paths are always going to be different. It's always about the journey. So this is now life, right? Abacus mimics life. So my final answer is 13. So are the 2's on the rightmost decimals? Yes, exactly. So when I look at it, I have the reason why these 2 are the decimals is my indicator. This indicator is my 1's. As I indicated that this is my 1's place, my 1's, my 10's, my 100's, my 1,000's, my 10,000. Then I have my decimal that sits between these 2 columns, and then I have my tenths and my hundredths. You could, if you really wanted to, is use these decimal. You can use this label this label will just push everything over, and notice I don't have any more hundreds. So, but you will have all these other decimals. Does that make sense? Cool. But yeah, it all depends on. So what we just did is with this number, when we added the 10, when we added the 8, right? We did 8 is equal to plus the 10 minus the 2. Now, what we did is we had to substitute. We had to make it, this is now a two-step equation. That's a little bit about algebra. Abacus is the gateway to complex math. We have a lot of framework that kind of mimics complex math, but it's interesting like to do this, right? Because what we did is we isolated the variable. That's a algebraic thing, and then we had to isolate it, and then what we did is we substituted. So now the next thing to do is understand that we have commutative property. Oh, good, Neon Panther. And math is my favorite subject. I like abacus. I like abacus. Okay, so what is commutative property? Well, commutative property means it's the addition state that changes the order of the numbers being added that doesn't change the sum. I'm like, that's a lot of words. All it really means is this. So if I have 8, right? If I plus the 8, triggers my, oh really? That's interesting. That's really interesting. So I have 8, right? I can do plus the 10 minus 2, or I can do minus 2 plus the 10. We need to keep this into in our mind because it should be any which way. They call it fact family, I think. I don't remember. I don't know if they call it fact family. I never was taught this when I was in school. So I'm trying to find new I'm trying to find what do you call it? I am trying to find what's it called? Math terminologies that is very similar to what we're doing. Hello, April. Welcome back. So you will find at the top of your feed end live. Well, what do I want to do? What if I wanted to? Okay, that's fine. I don't care. So disconnected. They currently disconnected after for most users. If you want to continue streaming, so you need to remove the destination and re-add it. Oh my god. All right, never mind. I don't care. That's it for that. Okay, so does that make sense? So what we just did, sorry, I was just doing a little bit of operational. Hey, M. What we're doing is we just did commutative property. So when we looked at that, that's what we're doing. So now understand, this is the fundamentals, and I'll tell you the secret. I'll tell you the big secret. The big secret is what we just learned. We learned how to add a 10, how to make a 10, how to subtract a 10, right? That's like carrying on, borrowing, trading, grouping, regrouping. I don't know any other terminologies, but those are a lot of terminologies. But I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you the secret. The secret is if you know how to add a 10 and make a 5 and subtract a 10 and subtract a 5, if you know how to do that, you will know how to scale and add and subtract everything. It doesn't matter. Add and subtract is only these formulas. That's it. Does that make sense? That's all it is. It's only just these. It's just different ways of, it's like Tetris. I don't know if you guys ever played Tetris, but it's like Tetris, trying to figure out how everything works, right? Okay. So, we're still on. Okay, good. Okay, what's next? Now, if you want, we can do more adding and subtracting because it does get a little bit, like this is still very basic adding and subtracting. We can go further into like double digits and triple digit abacus, but double digit, triple digit adding and subtracting. We can do that or we can do multiplication. It's up to you guys. It's up to you guys. Yeah, and then after that we can do multiplication and division. Well, it depends on how long I'll break. It depends on when my brain starts to not break. Crashing. Haha. Yeah, sometimes I crash after a while because like what? I'm on live. I think I can only go like 2 hours at a time. I think that's my limit so far. Uh I gotta practice my skill. Easy multiplication. Okay, let's do it. You know what? Everything on the abacus is easy, just so you know. Now, what am I going to do? What I'm going to do is understand, right? The first thing we need to understand, there's a few caveats. Understand that you need to know your multiplication fact. You need to know your multiplication fact. You need to know that 9 times 9 is equal to 81. You need to know this. Are we okay with that? Or do we want to do you want me to show you how we would learn this on the abacus? Okay, let me do that. You know what we're going to do is we're going to learn it on the abacus. Now, if you notice, when we do it on the abacus, let's do 3 times 9. Now, to do 3 times 9, we need to know that 9 plus 1 plus 9, that's what that is. So when we do it, abacus is really just additive cumulation, cumulation addition. So that just means when I do 9, I'm going to add another 9. I need to plus the 10 minus the 1, and then that's 18. So we have 18. So then I'm going to keep a running total, and then we're over here. So if I want to add another 10, add another 9, I just need to plus the 10 minus the 1. So that's easy, right? We need to know our multiplication fact. That's the only caveat. Thank you, Neon Panther. That's the only caveat that we need to understand when it comes to adding and subtracting. Okay, so now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do some multiplication. And this will be easy. I'll tell you. I'm going to tell you. So we have 23. Let's do 23 times that by 7. Oh my God, that's not easy. Yes, it is. It's so easy. You don't understand. So what we're going to do is we're going to count our digits. What are we going to do? The reason why we need to count our digits is because we need to understand where are we going to put our answer. So we're going to put our answer 1, 2, 3. How do I know? Because I have 1, 2, 3. I have 3 digits in my question. Maybe I should do this. I have 3 digits in my question. Because I have 3 digits in my question, where I start, excuse me, my starting point will be 3. 1, 2, 3. So 3. Now what do? Now I'm going to multiply it out. 7 times 2 is equal to 14. So I add my 1 and I add my 4. Then 3 times 7 is equal to 21. 21? 21. I need to add 2 and I need to add 1. I don't have enough beats to add the 1. What do? I don't have enough beats to add the 1. What can I do? Plus 2 is equal to plus 5 minus 3. Plus the 5 minus the 3. Yes, Agnes. Good. Yes. Thank you, Alex. And then we add the 1. That's all it is. So what did I just do? I just did multiplication. What is my final answer? What's my answer? What's my answer? Hey, David. Right. 161. Yes. Yes, 161. We can do another one. But see, what we just did is we just added the numbers. We just put the numbers on the abacus. I need to change numbers. Does that make sense? Was that easy? That was easy. That was so easy. I'm telling you, abacus makes everything so easy. You know why? I think you know what it is that because now we could see it, right? In mainstream math, we do they call it new math. And what new math is that they just write it out. So instead of utilizing the tools that we have, we write it out. And I'm like, what? Why? Let's see. Let me do another one. Desktop. Does counting the digit always works? Counting the digits? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by counting the digits, April? Because that's what we're doing. Like, I feel like new kid with AP math. Feeling like a new kid in AP math. When you multiply, you know where to start. Oh, yeah. Yes. It will always work. You know what? Let's take a bigger number. I feel like the new kid in AP math. Oh, okay, David. So let's do, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start. Okay, you know what? Let's do a little review. Before I carry on, we're going to review. We're gonna do how to count on the abacus. All it is counting on the abacus. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you, David, for commenting, because if you never commented, I would never know that you are lost. So don't be lost, because it's very easy. When the four beads, we're here, these all have a value of 1. The top bead has a value of 5. It's just like in decimals. Yeah, yeah. So this is 5. So we have 5, and then we count 6, 7, 8, 9. After 9, we have 10. After 10, well, how do I know? Well, just as we write 10, 1, 0, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then 15. After 15, we have 16, 17, 18, 19, and then 20. Just as we have the two tens, right? This is 20. We now can count by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So after the mean black girl. Aw, don't be mean. Thank you for liking my life. How can a mean black girl like my life? That's funny. Oh, I'm sorry. I just think it's funny. I think a lot of things are funny. So, hey Mel, welcome back. So what we're doing is we're counting on the abacus. What we're doing is we're understanding how to read the abacus. Does that make sense, David? I don't know if David's still around. But so when we look at it, we have our ones, our tens, our hundreds, our thousands, our 10,000s. Notice that when I line it up, every column has a place value. Oh, fantastic, David. Thank you so much for commenting. Because now I'm just talking to you and I want to make sure you understand. So what's going to happen is if I have my decimal, it sits between the ones and the tenths. It's always nice to be talking to somebody. And if you have a question, I can answer it. And if you leave, then I don't know if you're there. So this is the tenths and this is the hundreds, just like how we have decimals, right? So all it is if I did this, this is 700. 7, 5, 6, 7, 700, 0, 0. I am here because I have a label. My label is this dot, this black dot that I have. If you notice, there's a dot right here. There's another one here. So if you notice, it groups. So I have my ones, my hundreds, ones, my tens, hundreds, thousands. So just like we have the comma, right? Yeah, great. Thank you so much. So just like I have my comma is not anything, right? It's just an indicator. So I have comma 784.32. So I look, it would be like this: 6784.32. Oh, yeah. Make sense? Yeah. So when we read the abacus, that's what we're doing. So now after we read the abacus, we can go into multiplication. So we're going to do something higher. So Agnes had a question like counting the numbers. Yes, you can count the numbers. The first thing we're going to do, okay, let's do this one. 56 times that by 76. The blue one is 5. Yes, exactly, the mean black girl. But you're not that mean. So what we're going to do is, yes, every top bead is a value of 5. That is exactly what that is. But if you notice, this is 5 over here. The reason why is because this is my ones place. And then if I do this, this is my 50, right? If I did 2 like this is actually 55, not 10. This is what 10 looks like, just as we see it. 1 and 0, 1, 0. So if I did this would be 60. Does that make sense? So thank you so much for liking my live, Mel. So does that make sense? Mean? The mean? Yeah? Does that make sense? So we have 6 and then 7. After 7, we have 8. Can you slow that part down and repeat it? This is 6. This is 50. This is 55. Thank you so much for the heart. So, right, this is 55. This is 55. It is not 10. It cannot be 10. This is 10. 1, 0. So we take the numbers on the abacus. So if this is 5 and 5, this is 55. Does that make sense? But no, thank you so much, David, for letting me know. Sometimes I talk a little fast. Yeah, right. Okay, good. Yeah, let me know if it doesn't make sense, or let me know if I need to slow down, because I talk. And it's not to like there's no judge. It's just I know that I get excited and I get really passionate, because I'm talking about the abacus and I think it's the greatest thing next to sliced bread. And I want you guys to see how easy it is. I was pulling in the decimal places. I forgot that. Oh yeah. Yeah. So that's the thing. Some people were like, oh, that doesn't make sense. But yeah, right here, if I did that, we would have to, yeah, we would have to kind of pay attention. It's called, yeah, we would have to kind of pay attention. And that's the interesting thing about the abacus is that it helps us, pays attention to, helps us with our skill to pay attention to detail. And then that's the other thing is understanding where the place values are. So we have our ones, tens, hundred, thousands, and then 10,000. Yeah, cool. ASP, ASAP. That's funny. Okay, so we're gonna go into multiplication. Now again, the caveat is, are we okay with reading the beads? We could do more. We could do a little more. And I need to find. So I have like a little activity. I have a little activity, but if I found it, we would do it. Ha ha ha. All right. So the four places. Four places. I didn't print it out. I didn't print it out. And okay, you know what? You know what? Okay. 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 Okay, Neon Panther, we will do it. We will do it. It just sees that. As long as you keep the paper over the app because I can see what it was. Yes. But then it'll be lessening. Then I don't have a lot of place. I don't have my camera is not very good. And there's not a lot of camera space when I do that. Oh yeah. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a little trip. We are gonna do the four place. What does that mean? Well, we're gonna do a little maze because I like mazes. I like puzzles. I like puzzles. This is the beginning of the book. This is my book cover. So we're going to do this one. So the first question is, what is this number? Huh. What's going on? There we go. There we go. There we go. So what is this number? Yippee! That's so funny, Neon Panther. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support. I really do. It really does. It really does make me happy. Agnes says 3, 4, 1, 2. Yes. Good. Alex, yes. So this is what I gotta do. Now it's a little bit of a pain, but that's okay. That's okay. So what number is this? If I had that, and what we're doing is we're reading the abacus. Um, it's to practice how to read the abacus because learning how to read the abacus, we don't look at it very often, right? So what I'm doing is I'm just practicing to color in the beads. So that's what this is. Neon Panther says, thank you for the follow. Neon Panther says 2, 6, 8, 2. Yes. So we're going to color this in because now you guys are helping me make sure that my answers are correct. All right. So now we are here. Whoa. Let me make it bigger. Let me make it bigger. How about that? Is that better? No, that was wrong. Okay. So thank you, Katie. Thank you, David. Yeah, does that make sense? So if we do this, and now I'm just coloring. That's all I'm doing. You guys are watching me color. Destiny, welcome back. Let's see. I have this one. There we go. There we go. Then this is how you color in Canva. Thank you everybody for letting me. Yes, thank you. Good. 747. So we're going to do that. Okay, good. So the next number is this one. Right? Maybe I should make it bigger. Maybe I'll make it bigger. How about that? There we go. So I have this. Does that make sense, the mean black girl? Does this make sense to you? What we're doing is I don't know. Oh, I don't know if you're still here. Okay, and then we did, David, is this all right? Okay, whoops, sorry. There we go, there we go, there we go. Yeah, I can't because I'm on TikTok, and TikTok took over my stream, my shortcut keys. That's why. Yeah, I know. So like, yeah, if I hold down the shift, okay, I'll hold down the shift. I don't know what I'm doing. If you hold the shift, you can color all the items. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Okay, so that's a good idea. Okay, I'll do that. So, okay, I'll do that. So I can do that. Well, no, I can't. You know why? Because they're all grouped. I have to ungroup everything. Oh, man. I'd have to ungroup everything. Okay, you know what? Let's do that. Let's do, can I do that? Ungroup. All right, so that means it's this. So if I did this, there we go. All right, we'll try that. What number is that? 1, 2, 8, 9. Yes. So that's what this is. And then I go up to this one. So now I have to ungroup it all. And then I got this one, this one, this one, that one, this one. Okay, that's a better one. Yep, okay, cool. Neon says 6, 6. Hey, Sydney, welcome back. 663. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Alex, for the tip. 7. Yes. So we're going here, and then we go here, and then we come down, and then I do this. Oh, I need to ungroup. So I do this, this, this. I get it. Yeah, right? See? Welcome to the real world. It just takes time. It just takes time to really understand what we're trying to do. So I think it's helpful to have a maze. Thank you, Alex and Neon Panther and David. So where are we going? We're going 642. And I'm trying to make sure that my answers are, that my questions are correct. Good afternoon, Bill. Good afternoon. Guess what we're doing? We're doing 4 digits this time. And I'm not lagging. I'm not lagging. Uh, and apparently I get how to read it. I just need to know how to use it to calculate. Yes, we will go into that. Let me finish this. Let me finish. Yeah. Well, let me finish the maze, and then we'll go into adding and subtracting. Yeah. Woo woo. Yep. Because what we did is yeah, I get it. Okay, good. So, what are we doing? Thank you for the follow. We have 4 more. We have 4 more. Come on. We can't stop now. Okay, hold on. We do this. No, we have 4 left. We have 4 left. Let's stick it out a little bit longer. 195. Okay, good. Thank you. And then it's this one. And then we do this one, ungroup, and we do this, 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 this. All right. What number is that? 1948. Yes. So then, oh, did I do that wrong? Oh yeah, there we go. Thank you for the heart. Thank you for the heart. Okay, 2 more. We have 2 left. Come on. Where are you? Sorry. Ungroup. There we go. So what number is that? Oh yeah, that was really quick. Easy, right? Good. Good. And then our final one is this one. Nope. That one. That's our final one. Thank you. 7, 8, 2, 1. Good. Okay, good. That's it. That's it. That's one of the things. All right. There is, we don't need to do it. Okay, good. So then we go back. We go back to understanding how to, okay, so we did, so let's do multiplication some more, yeah? Are we doing multiplication? Great, great. So what we're gonna do, oh yeah, I have my one question. My question is here. So we did some multiplication. We did the first ones. Did that make sense? Or you know what? We'll just continue on. We'll just continue on. So what we're going to do is we're going to understand how to count the beads. The reason why we need to count the beads is to understand where we're going to put our digit, if that makes sense. So, oh, before I forget, Bill, I want to show you. I started making my book cover. Let me show you my book cover first. So this is the one you have. So this is my book cover, and I'm going to publish this out to, oh, thank you for the heart me. Thank you for the hand heart. Okay, so this is the book. This is 2 digit, and this is 3 digit. And the 3 digit obviously is hundreds, tens, and ones. And then this is my 4 digit. And I'm going to do 5 digit with decimals. So that's what I wanted to show you. Okay, I'm actually quite excited about it. Thank you so much. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to count our decimals. The reason why we need to count our decimals is to know where we're going to put it on the abacus. When we put it on the abacus, we just need a rough estimate. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, when we count it, we have 4. What we're going to do is we're going to mark our abacus. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice I start from the ones. When I start from the ones, that's when I count 1, 2, 3, 4. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply it out. Remember, when we multiply it out, we need to know our multiplication fact. That is what we need to know. We need to understand how to do it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have my finger here in the fourth column. What I do is I'm going to go 7 times 5. So notice I do 7 times 5 is equal to 35. I put 30 and I put 5. Make sense? Now, if you look, I don't need to worry about new math. Why? Because the abacus does it for me. So I don't need to say 3,500. I don't need to say that. I don't even need to say 70 times 50 because I don't think my multiplication table actually goes up to the teens, the tens, right? So in school, we're teaching the kids, multiplication fact. You need to know this. But then now we start going into new math, and like, you know what, you need to add 70 plus 50. Why? Because it's 50 and then 70. But in abacus we don't need to do that. We just need to do 7 times 5 is equal to 35, and then let the abacus let it do what it needs to do. Right? So I don't want to do this. I don't want to do new math. What I'm doing is abacus. So we know that's 35. I'm going to continue on saying 7 times 6. We know 7 times 6. 7 times 6 is equal to 42. Do I have enough beads to add 42? Yes. I add 4, I add 2. Am I done? No, I'm not done. I'm done with the 7, so now I got to reassess. When I reassess, I need to count again. How many digits are left in the question? 1, 2, 3. So all I did was counted my digits. 1, 2, 3. I'm over here. Now what I want to do is I'm going to do 6 times 5. 6 times 5 is equal to 30. Notice I have to add 30. When I add 3, there's not enough beads to add the 3. We know how to add the 3. This is a formula that we need to memorize from prior. So just so you know, when I want to add the 3, it's equal to plus the 10 minus the 7. That's the formula. That's the equation. That's the expression we need to memorize. So we want to plus the 10 and then take away the 7. I plus the 10 and I take away the 7. And then I add my 0. Always remember your 0. There's a 30 in there, right? There's a 0. So what's next? 6 times 6. 6 times 6 is 36. My question is do I have enough beads to add the 3? Do I have enough beads to add the 3? No, I don't. What's another way to add the 3? To add the 3, I can plus the 5 minus the 2. Does that make sense? I can plus the 5 minus the 2. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to plus the 5 and I take away the 2. Now I add my 6. So my final answer, does that make sense? My final answer is what? Notice I use the formulas that we learned from before. Sorry, I missed something. Yeah. Hold on, David. 4, 2, 5, 6. Yes, Alex. Does that make sense? Okay. So, David, there's a few things that needs to happen. 4, 2, 5, 6. David and the Mean Black Girl. The only thing that the one thing that is the difference between what's going on now and what we did before is we need to know these math facts. Do you remember your math fact of how to add a 5? So what we did is we had to learn how to make a 5, right? To make a 5, we do 1 plus 4 is equal to 5. So what we did is we jumped, and you guys are coming into like after an hour. I've been on for about an hour and a half. I'm not judging. I'm just letting you know. So what I did in the beginning of the live was I talk about the formulas. We have this thing called formulas, and this is how we're going to add and subtract on the abacus. Then what we do is we learn how to do multiplication division. So before we go, but because we jump to multiplication, you don't have the backstory. There's always a backstory. So let's start with this again, right? So we have the 4 and the 5. Well, why are we learning this? In school, we're teaching the children 4 plus 1 is equal to 5, 1 plus 4 is equal to 5. Why does this matter? This matters because now we're going to utilize this 5. When we did the maze was how to read the abacus. The next thing we need to do is understand how do we add on the abacus. So if we look, I want to do 3 and I want to add 1, I'm going to add the 1. I notice that in abacus, we focus on the added. We do not focus on the result. So when I add the 1, I know that this will be 4. Does that make sense? So that's neither here or there. We're not doing this right now. What we're doing is we're understanding how to move the beats. So when I have 2 and I want to add 5, I just need to bring it down. When I remove 5, when I subtract the 5, I need to move it up. So anytime it's away from the bar or coming to the bar is whether I add it or I've subtracted. Thank you for the hand heart, David. Does that make sense? Hold please. I need to refresh. I need to refresh. Hold please. So, okay. Okay, good. Yes, if you guys can continue to tell me that you're here, then I will continue to explain the beginning parts. If you stop commenting, I'm just letting you know. If you stop commenting, then I'm going to start jumping into multiplication, and if I can, I'll go into division. But I want to get you guys to go understand the backstory. Does that make sense? The mean black girl? Let me know. I'm counting on you guys. I'm counting on you guys to continue to make sure that you guys are still here. Because if you just leave, then there's no point for me to continue on because we already know this. Okay, good. Okay, good. So the first thing we did is we understand how to add. We added, we move to the bar, we subtract, we stay away from the bar, we go away from the bar. So just as Beal would mention, we want to beam up. If we want to beam up, we go beam me up, Scotty. We beam, we go here. I was gone for a while. Hey, Agnes, wait, you can do division on this as well. Yes, Alex, you can do division on this. No, yeah, Agnes, you're okay. Alex, yes, you could do division. Just so you know, Agnes, we're doing a review. So you're okay. We're okay. We haven't done anything huge. So the first thing we're going to do is understand. We understand this. Okay, not a problem. The next thing we're going to do is understand, well, why do we need to add a 5 and make a 5? Well, what's going to happen is if I have 3 and I want to add the 4, right? If I want to add 3 and I add 4, there's not enough beats to add the 4. So what's going to happen is, so where's my question? My question is here. Here's my question. I want to add 3. No, I don't want to add 3. I want to add 4. So here's my question. I want to add 4. So I have the number 3. I have 3 on my abacus. I have 3 on my abacus, and I want to add 4. I don't have enough beats to add the 4. Well, crap. What am I going to do? No. There's no poop. There's no poop. You can do it. You can do it. You know why? Because we have this concept of adding the 5. We have this concept of adding the 5. Now, we don't want to use stock. We don't want to use a stock equation. We're going to do some modification. Yes, thank you, Neon Panther. We're going to do some modification. What is this modification? Oh, this is brilliant. I love this. This is so funny. All right, so what's going to happen is I have my stock. I have my stock equation. It's 4 plus 1 is equal to 5. Now we're going to do some modification. What does that mean? We're going to isolate the variable. So in algebra, you know how to isolate the variable. To isolate the variable means that we want to make this 4 by itself. Why do we want to make it by itself? Because my question is talking about the 4. And on my abacus, I don't have any 4. So if you notice, there is a 4, but it's in disguise. Oh, it's in disguise. So what are we going to do is we're going to separate it. We're going to strip it away. We're going to subtract the 1. So we do 4 is equal to 5. Notice that this is no longer balanced. What we need to do is we need to subtract the 1. Now we have unleashed the power of the 4. We plus the 5 and we take away the 1. And now our answer is 7. Does that make sense? Hey, China. Does that make sense? David and the mean black girl. Does that make sense? So what has happened? What has happened? We can do it more. We can do it again. What does that mean? We now have the power and the versatility of the 4. We have the power and the versatility of the formula. What does that mean? I want to add the 4. In school, we were taught to memorize 4 plus 4 is equal to 8. But in the abacus world, in the real world, we just need to understand and memorize the formula. So if I want to add the 4, all I got to do is plus the 5 minus the 1. My answer is now 8. You could do it again. And it happens again. Why? Because now what we're doing is we're compounding this information. We're compounding the information, so we do 2. Let's add the 2, and I'm going to add the 4. I don't have enough beats to add the 4. Thank you so much for the comment. So we want to do is we want to add the 4. Wait a minute. But we know this. So we add the 5 and take away the 1. Do you see that there's a number pattern? The number pattern is we want to add the 5 and take away the 5. So we know how to add a 4, and now we're going to do the next step is we're going to minus the 4. Do you see that there's a number pattern? I'm using 2 hands to dramatically show that we can do adding the 4 and take away the 4. Usually I just use my fingers like this, but it's not as dramatic. So, right? Does that make sense? Okay, good. So we understand how to add the 4. Well, what does that mean? Well, if you look, we can do it for the others. When we add the 3, it's the same pattern. Let's do 4. Whoa. Let's do 4. Hey, Kristen, welcome back. We do 4 and we want to add 3. Well, the same pattern. What does that mean? Just like here, we know that the partner of 3 is 2. We know the partner of 3 is 2. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to strip away the mask. We're going to make it isolated. We're going to have it isolated. So it's 5 minus 2. So what does that mean? I'm going to plus the 5 and take away the 2. Now there's a pattern. Now we see a pattern. It gets better. Because after we know how to make a 5, we know how to subtract a 5. Right? Been gone for a while. My 3-year-old's having the worst week. No. The 3-year-old is testing limits. The 3-year-old is making you more smart to figure out how to not control but guide. It's not the terrible 3s, it's the fantastic 2s, it's the fantastic 3s. It's always a good thing about them being able to do this. So they're just testing your brain cells. Kristen, no, it's okay. It's okay. It's all about testing the limits, and we want them to be smart, so they test your limits. So does that make sense? The mean black girl and David, right? So what we did is we took a concept and we now can utilize it. We can make it better. We can modify it. So when we go through it, we're doing it, right? So now we know how to add. We're going to do subtract. What are we subtracting? Well, think about when we do subtraction, right? We don't know our doubles subtraction. What does that mean? There's no such thing as doubles subtraction, but in abacus there is a minus. So minus the 4 equal minus 5 equal, I'm sorry, minus 4 minus 1 equals minus 5. Does this concept make sense to you? Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to take away the 5. When we take away the 5, it's the same thing. We're going to move it to the other side. We're going to isolate this variable. My question is 8 minus 4. When I do 8 minus 4, I don't have enough beats to take away the 4. So that means, thank you for the heart. So that means I'm going to take away the 4. I need to take away the 4. That's what the question is. I want to take away the 4. To take away the 4, I need to, what do? Minus the 4 equals minus the 5 plus the 1. So I'm going to take away the 5 and I add the 1. My final answer is 4. Thank you for the hand heart, David. So what we just did is we're compounding our knowledge. We're compounding our information. As we compound it, it gets more and more. You see the pattern, right? There's a pattern there. Now you see the pattern. It gets better. But wait, there's more. When you say it sounds like directions of what to do. Exactly. So that's what it is. And when we memorize it is exactly what it is. When you look at it, what I try to do, and I was trying to, if I want to add the 4, if I have 4 and I'm adding another 4, what am I doing? What I want to do is I want to plus the 5. This is a gentle reminder. This is a 5, and I need to take away the 1. Exactly. So I'm being obvious. There's no subtle like, oh, I need to do this. No. It is what it is, and that's all it is. It's exactly what it is. And you're absolutely right, the mean black girl. You're absolutely right. That's why there's no beating around the bush. I love this. This is fantastic. You're absolutely right. It is exactly what we're trying to do. So now we understand this, right? But wait, there's more. What? What do you mean there's more? There's more because now we know how to do a 10, we know how to do a 5. We know how to do a 5. Guess what? We're going to do a 10. I just need the little beads not to look at like little Skittles. That's funny. Oh, that's funny. I want to eat the rainbow. Right. Okay. How do you add? Oh, good job. Thank you, Agnes. Yes. How do we know over 10? Oh, okay. Yes. So let's do a little review. Remember that we do, okay, we know how to do the 5. Now we understand this pattern. There's a pattern. Now we're going to do a magic, right? We're going to do some magic. We're not going to do magic. It's not magic. I'm telling you. I'm telling you the magic. That's what it is. I'm telling you the magic. What am I doing? I'm looking for my paper. Oh, here it is. Is this it? Okay, yeah. What we're going to do is we're going to plus the 10 in the 10th column. Yes, exactly. The 10th column. Actually, what I want to say, it's not the 10th column. It's the next column over. I'll tell you why. Because when we start talking about bigger numbers, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what column you're in. It just matters on what the column is. So it doesn't matter what the column is. It just matters like the 10th column. So my question is, I want to add a 4. We need to add another 4. What? I don't like 4s. Fours is pretty versatile. Why? Because let's say we want to add the 4. Let's say the question is 8 plus 4. Ooh, Panther, yes, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. See, it's a little bit about algebra. Hey, Beal, thank you so much for the heart, Beal. Sorry, the rose. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 8 plus 4. 8. We know how to make an 8, right? We know how to make an 8 because we did the 5. We did add the 5. Now we need to plus the 4. Guess what? Guess what? We know how to make a 10. Why? We already made the 5. Can we do it again? No, we cannot do it again. So we got to go to the next column over, which means the plus 10s. So that's where we have our 10 pair. This is why we have our 10 pair. We have 4 plus 6 is equal to 10. So what is that? Guess what? We're going to isolate the variable. We've seen this before. What? This is nuts. This is exactly what we're doing. So we're plussing the 4 is equal to plus the 10 minus the 6. Does that make sense? So what did we just do? We just modified our stock our stock equation. Yes, thank you, Alex. That's exactly what it is. So these are our stock equations. We just did some modification. What does that mean? Plus the 10 minus the 6. Plus the 10 only means go to the next column over. It doesn't matter, David. It doesn't matter where the column is. It just means that if I'm talking about plus the 4 here, if I just want to plus, you know what? This one. If I want to plus the 4 here, all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to move to make sure that the other column, that's all we're doing. So I want to plus the 4. What are we doing? Plus the 10 minus the 6. Does that make sense? I want to plus the 10. I'm going to take away the 6. So my final answer is 12. Life with Chihuahua. Does that make sense? Whoa! Yes. Welcome to the real world. That's it. That's all we're doing. Versatile. I help make everyone remove negative items off report credit on your own one day. In one day. Yup. You know what? I just did a negative on my abacus and I just showed you. Neon Panther. Right? Versatile working. If you're going to continue to spam, I'm going to have to remove you. Red pill activated. Whoa! Red pill is activated. Yes, the matrix. If those people don't understand, it's a matrix. It's a matrix thing. Not a tax-paying person just joined. Yeah, right. So let's do another one. Can we do another one? Let's do another one. Do we want to do 4 or are we going to do another one? We can make it bigger. right? See, that's what I'm saying. Like when we know all of these things, all it is just a Tetris. If I don't know if you guys know Tetris. I don't know. I don't know how old you guys are, but when I was a kid, we played Tetris. And Tetris is like, how does everything fit? So what we're doing is we're playing Tetris with math. And when you do Tetris with math, it is fantastic because why? It's so easy. No, Neon. That's an easy one. Why? Because we do 40, we do 2, we do 42. Neon Panther, look at it. If we do 42, we want to add the 7. Can we add the 7? I feel like having FaceTime with my friends. Yeah, yeah. I'm so happy I saw your abacus for life. For life! Tech big person. Neon Panther, that's an easy question. Why is it easy? It's easy because I have 7. See? 5, 6, 7. That's not a thing. But let's take it up a notch. We'll do 42 plus 9. How about that? How about that? How do you think of them apples? Let's do that instead. You know why? Because that's what we're trying to do. No, no, no. 42. Let's do no, no. 42 is a little tougher. Let's do one more. Let's do yeah. That's not a challenge. Oh, that's funny. Okay, okay, okay. Them apples, right? Oh, okay. So yes, it's the red pill. Welcome to the real world. All right. So yeah, let's do another one. I have a bunch of questions. I have a bunch of questions. I just gotta find my because it's just easier to copy. It's just easier to copy. Okay. So what we're gonna do? Let's do this. So here is what we just did. The path is what we did. I was picking random numbers. Is somebody see that's the thing, right? Like, and I sometimes I get tripped up and I have to remember, do I have enough beads? And it's been I've been teaching abacus for like 20 plus years, but I still get a little tripped up because sometimes I forget my questions. My questions is, do you have enough? So here, if we do this, right, 2 plus 2, the question is do I have enough to add the 2, right? And yes, I do. I do have enough to add the 2. Now, if you notice, this is what we call simple. Simple means do we have enough? I did 5, and then I want to add the 4. Do I have enough? Yes, I have enough. Not a problem. Now, what we did is I talked a little bit about how to add the 5. Adding a 5 is just these questions. Now you see a pattern. I'm like, what? There's a pattern? Yeah. Yeah, there's a pattern. So there's a pattern. So these are all the plus the fives. So when you look, we did 3, right? And I want to add the 4. Adding the 4 is plus the 5 minus the 1. And you could do it again. 4 has a lot of things. So let's do another one. We did 4 and plus 5, not a problem. So we did it this one. Do you see how I added the 4 and then 8? We did the 10. So that's what the yellow is. We have a lot more 10 questions here. So let's do a 10 question. Let's do 7 plus 9. 7 plus 9. So again, we're going to do our formula, right? Do we have enough beads to add the 7? Do we have enough beads to add the 7? No, we don't have enough beads to add the 7. So what do? We know we're going to plus the 7. How do we plus the 7? We know we have 7 plus 3 is equal to 10. We know this. How do we know this? Because that's just a pair. That's something that we just need to know. The reason why is because we need to understand how to utilize this 10. So when we do it, 7, oh, I'm sorry, 9. I'm doing 9. I'm doing 9. So we have this. 9 is equal to plus the 10 minus the 1. So what do? All we got to do is plus the 10 and then take away the 1. That's all we need to do. Now you see that there's a number pattern. When I want to add the 9, it's always going to be plus the 10 minus the 1. So my final answer is 16. Abby, but you can what? Does that make sense? Yeah, thank you. 16. Yes, thank you, David. Thank you for the heart. Thank you for the rose. Does that make sense? So we can do it again, right? Now it becomes versatile because we built on top of each other. We knew, I showed you how to do a 4 and a 6. Now, look at that. The pair, the biggest thing is memorizing the pairs. We need to know how to make a 10 and how to make a 5. Those are the biggest things. After you know, and here's the big secret. Here's the big secret. Here's the big reveal. If you know how to add a 10 minus a 10 plus a 5 minus a 5, then you can do anything. Now, Neon just told us a two-step problem. So we understand how to do tens. Let me do another one. Let's do another one. We do 7 plus 8. Right. Need to know which pair works for in each scenario. Yes, exactly. So before we do neons, 8, this is a little much. Why? Because it's more than just two step. So let's do this one first. Let's practice this. So we're going to practice this. 8 plus 7 plus 8. When we look on the abacus, see, and that's why it's interesting, because the abacus shows us what we can do and what we can't do. It just shows us, it just makes it more obvious, because when we look at the numbers, these are very abstract. Because these are abstract, it's hard to visualize. So when we look at it, we said, oh, 7. Now the question is, can I add the 8? No, I can't add the 8. What is my 8? 8 is plus the 8 is equal to plus the 10 minus 2. Plus the 10 minus 2. So I plus the 10. And then can I take away the 2? Yes, I can take away the 2. So all I got to do is take away the 2. So we're looking at it on the abacus, and it's easy to see. So my final answer is 15. Right? Thank you so much for the hearts. Thank you so much for the likes. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to it's the funniest thing. Abacus is the simplest thing to do, but we don't utilize it for what it is. It's a tool to help us calculate. Why 8 and not 7? Because it's different. Let me show you. If we did the 8 the other way, 7, we did this. If we did that, right? We do 8. We want to add 7. We want to add 7. It kind of works the same. Yep, nope, never mind. My bad. That works the same. So plus the 7 is equal to what? Plus the 10 minus 3. So I plus the 10 and I take away the 3. Is there enough to take away the 3? Yes, there is. All I gotta do is take away the 3. So my answer is 15. That's not the crazy question. Here is the crazy question. The crazy question is this one. Some people have comfort shows they always watch. I have a comfort. Yeah, Theo, that's funny. So, oh yeah, no, the mean black girl. Just so you know, there's a difference, right? The difference is, so I had a one parent was like, okay, you know what? I want my child to know what 8 plus 5 is, and isn't 5 plus 8 the same? As like, no, I don't know if you were here for that. This is not the same. Why is it not the same? Because it's all about the add-in. It's all about the add-in. So let's do this one first. Let's do 8. 8 plus 5. We want to plus the 5. We want to add the 5. When we want to add the 5, what do? Plus the 5 is equal to plus the 10 minus 5. So I plus the 10 and I take away the 5. Not a problem. My answer is 13. Okay, fine. That's great. So let's do the next one. Let's do 5, right? 5 and then plus 2. I'm sorry, 5 plus 8. Plus 8. Can I add the 8? No, I cannot add the 8. What do? To add the 8, I need to plus the 10 minus 2. So I need to plus the 10 and I need to take away the 2 now. This is where it comes to be a two-step problem. This is now called a two-step problem. Why? Because now we need to break this down. We need to modify this. Yeah, that's why it's different. That's why you look at the add-in and not the result. So now we have to minus the 2. Minus the 2, do we remember how to minus the 2? We can utilize this 5. This is why, thank you for the follow. This is why we this is why we don't have free-loading numbers. Our numbers are not free-loading. Yes, thank you, Agnes. Thank you, Alex. Yes, thank you. So it's minus the 5 plus the 3. So I'm going to, yes, no, you're absolutely right. Minus the 5 and then plus the 3. It's exactly what it is. Yes, thank you, the mean back girl. Yes. Does that make sense? Now my answer is 13. So what I just did was a two-step problem. This was a two-step problem. This is a two-step problem. Why? Because we just did this and then we substituted this to go into here. And now I feel like I'm in football with all these like numbers and stuff. Yeah, does that make, okay, good. So now we know about two-step problems. Now we can go into what Neon Panther was talking about. This is going to be a little bit. 45. I thought I was missing something because The one way has so many steps. The one way has a little bit of steps, but see, that's the thank you so much for the goat. But that's the thing, because you guys kind of came in the middle of the conversation, right? I just had to backtrack, and I'm very happy that everybody had the patience to have the backtrack. I was about to come back, but I have a head. Oh no, go handle your headache. Well, you know what? WWE, I'm here often. I'm here live pretty often, so I'll see you in my next live. Don't worry about it. I'll see you in my next live. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, and if you're interested, I mean, I do have workbooks. I have workbooks that you can find it on the other. You can find it on my TikTok shop, or you can find it after the fact, Alex, or you can find it on the other social, not social, selling platform that sells books. I know I can't say it just in case. My little bro practices, so I might join after that. Okay, yeah, cool. Not a problem. Not a problem. So if you're looking for something to do more abacus, I do have this. Just find my name. Find my name. I want to buy an abacus. I don't want to use a. I don't want to. I don't even use math for my job, but I want one. There's a lot of people. Yeah. I do sell abacus in my website if you guys want it. That's up to you. Or you can buy. You can find it on the TikTok shop. They have that too. I don't have it in mine. I'm just trying to figure that out. Anyways, 45 plus 8. We're gonna do 45 plus 8. That's gonna be a little much. Why? Because there's more than just two steps. Okay, hopefully you guys can bear with me, because now Neon Panther has now pushed the class further ahead. What does that mean? The question is 45 plus 8. What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that, just so you know. All right, 45 plus 8. If you notice, I have 40 and I have 5. Now what's going to happen is I need to plus the 8. I want to isolate the variable. I want to isolate the variable. I want to isolate my column. I don't want to be, it's too many columns. It's too much for me. So I'm gonna make sure that I only make sure I look at this. I want to plus the 8. We know how to plus the 8. It's plus the 10 minus the 2. So I'm gonna plus the 10 and minus the 2. Oh my God. This is more than a two-step. Do you see that? I need to plus the 10. Adding the 1 here, there's not enough beads to add the 1. What do I do? So if I want to plus the 1, do I have, okay, good. I want to plus the 1 equals to plus the 5 minus 4. Thank you, Agnes. Yes. So I need to plus the 5 minus the 4. Thank you, Alex. And then I'm back to here. Minus the 2. How do I minus the 2? Oh, oops. How do I minus the 2? See, they're all building on top of each other. But that's what I'm saying. You just need those 4 formulas. Yes, thank you, Alex. Minus the 5 plus the 3. Yes. So all I got to do is minus the 5 plus the 3. Thank you, Bill. And then my final answer is 53. So that was a little much. Why? Because that was a very good question. Yes, exactly. Because what did we do? We two-step this one and we two-step this one. So now you really get the solid understanding of how to. That confused me. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah. So what we're doing is we're doing more than two steps, but you take it one step at a time. See, that's the other thing. Abacus talks about manageable chunks. So let's start over. Let's do 45. Did some abacus teacher join earlier? It was pretty funny. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Sir Patrick. But I don't know how late it is for him, because he's out in Uganda, somewhere in Africa. And so I'm not sure if he's but he and I follow each other. It's funny. And he's got like a whole class. I was like, this is fantastic. I don't have a whole class. I wish I did, but that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get a whole class. I'm trying to educate. Because why? In abacus, we don't talk about mainstream math. A lot of the things that we do here is not okay. So, David, we want to add the 8. When we add the 8, we want to add the 8 here. Does that make sense? Okay, let's go step by step. We want to add the 8. because we have 45. So we want to add the 8 to here. We want to add the 8 to here. To add the 8, there's not enough. We need to plus the 10 minus the 2. Now there's a problem. So notice I want to plus the 10 minus the 2. That's the problem. Why? Because it's too much. It's too much. There's too much going on. So we're going to plus the 10. So if we look, this is what we're going to do. Oh no, that's not it. So this is what we're going to do. We have to plus the 10 and then minus the 2. What do you want to do first? Plus the 2 or minus the 2 or plus the 10? What do we want to do first? It doesn't matter which one you do. It's all got to be done. What are we going to do first? Plus the 10 or minus the 2? Thank you for the follow, Jocelyn. You want to plus the 10 first? So if we plus the 10, right? We want to plus the 10. How do we add the 10? There's a 4 here. How do we add 1? Right? That's what we're doing. We're adding 1. That's all we're doing. We're adding 1. How do we add 1? The green one only. No. David? How do we add 1? Thank you, Alex. We're going to plus the 5, and we're going to take away the 4. Does that make sense, David? Yes, good, good. So now we still need to do minus the 2. We still need to take away the 2. So I moved it, right? We did that. Now we got to go back to here. We want to take away the 2. How do I take away the 2? Does that make sense? We still need to take, how do we take away the 2? Uh-oh. We're okay? Minus, plus the 3, yes. Minus the 5 plus the 3. And that's what we get. Yes. So what we just did, Neon Panther gave us a really good question because we had to break this up, plus the 10, and we had to break this up, minus the 2. That's why. So you just take it one step at a time. And it's always the question, what are we trying to do? Don't jump ahead, because then you're going to get confused. You're just going to make sure you stay where you are and just have like little blinders on. That's what I'm trying to do. Not like we're horses, but that's what we do with horses, right? We have blinders. So that's why I was trying to just focus on the one thing just focus on the one thing, and then you move forward. It's like running running like the 100-yard dash. Always focus the finish line, right? The idea is the finish line is what are we trying to do? We're trying to take away the 1. So that's why this was a good question, because we had to modify it twice. Modify. So we had to modify this twice. Yeah. Does that make sense now? QB. Yeah. Yeah. But take it slow, right? Don't forget you just started. All right. This is not something that you should know this right away. This is something that you just started. It takes kids probably about a couple, like 3 months to get to this part. Kids, like, if they're 7 or 8, it takes them about 3 months. Adults, it might take about a week or 2 just to go through the questions, because there's all these questions that we need to do. We need to practice. We need to practice our fundamentals. It's like Karate Kid. You wax on, you wax off. You need to practice how to wax on, and you need to practice how to wax off. You need to learn how to paint the fence. This is why you paint the fence, so you can utilize it. Yeah. So what we're doing when I was teaching you how to do the plus the 5 and minus all of this stuff is learning how to wax on and wax off. Paint the fence, paint up, paint down, right? You know, Karate Kid? Anybody watch the old Karate Kid? It was what? Put on the jacket, take off the jacket. That's the new one. I don't know what else he did. Put on the jacket, take off the jacket. It was another one. I forget. I forget what he did. It was an interesting movie. But I remember the first one when I watched it. It was the with the Ralph Macchio and Pat. I forget his name. Yeah, I only seen the old one. Yeah, Mr. Miyagi. Yes, thank you, Mr. Miyagi. Yeah, you wax on and you wax off. It's the same thing with this. Minus the two, you wax off. You add the two, you wax on. Yeah. Katie, you okay? You understand? So that's so what's the answer? The answer is 53. 53. Right? Yes, thank you, Katie. Wax on and wax off. Mr. Miyagi. No, no, no. I'm talking about the actor. His name is Pat something. Moria. I forget. But yeah, that's what we're doing. So when you understand the basics, you understand the fun. Then we can go into multiplication, division. Then we can go into multiplication. Beam me up, beam me down the beads. Yeah, I was trying to bring that in. Bring me up, bring me. Up. But the difference is you can't do it with the 5, because you got to beam me down. Right. The 5 is you have to beam me down, and then you have to beam up, which is interesting. Okay, so when it comes to multiplication, it helps to count and keep track of the numbers. When it comes to a multiplication and division, does it help to count and keep track of the numbers? Yes, it does. Thank you so much for the gesture, cat, David. That's a funny thing. Yes, it does. I know it's a big jump, but I need to go soon. Can you give a quick example of division? Yeah. Yeah, let's do division. We're gonna do division. All right, let's do division. The biggest thing about division is knowing your dividends and divisors. Well, sorry. So, okay. Okay, we'll do this one. We'll do this one. This one will be easy. But the thing is we're gonna have a conversation. We're gonna have a conversation with our numbers. I think that's what it is we're not used to having conversations with our numbers. We're not used to saying, well, can I do it? Nuts. I can't do it. You know what I mean? You need to have conversations with your numbers. And we need to not give them the silent treatment. So here's a question. 2 times 2 divided by 334. Now, I want to know is we have our dividend and we have our divisor. I'm going to change our abacus because this is not, is it big enough? It should be big enough. Let's see. Yes, it should be big enough. Okay. So we have our dividend and our divisor. To do our dividend, we need to have a conversation. We have, if you remember in multiplication, we added our digits. In division, we need to subtract our digits. So I have 3 dividends. Panther, I don't know. I gotta work it out. I'm sure that's correct. So we have 3 dividends and we have 2 divisor. So where I'm going to put my answer is I'm going to put it at the 1. No, 1. Sorry. And then 2. So I'm going to put my answer at the 2. This is where I'm going to go. Right? The first thing I'm going to do is we're going to do the abacus way. So I have my dividend and my divisor. I'm going to go to the 2. So my place value where I'm going to start is here. I'm going to add 2. Not add 2. This is where my answer is 2. I'm sorry, I'm blanking out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my dividend on the abacus. Don't think of it as 334. We're just using this as a place value. We're just using it as a placeholder. The reason why we put it as a placeholder is because we're going to take it away here. We're going to do our subtraction here. So what's going to happen is now the question is, who is bigger, my dividend or my divisor? Why are we doing that? Because I need to figure out if it's going to be 1 digit or 2. So my dividend and my divisor. My divisor is 2. My dividend is 3. Which one is bigger? My dividend is bigger. So if my dividend is bigger, then I am going to what? I am going to skip one column. Thank you, David. I'm going to skip one column. This is the column I'm going to skip. And I'm going to subtract one column. So I know I'm going to use this one column to subtract. So my question is 2 times what is equal to 3 or less? 2 times 1 is equal to 2. So I'm going to add 1 on my abacus. I'm going to take away 2. Thank you. When I take away 2, I'm going to take away 2. So now I have my dividend still. My question is who is bigger? 2 is my dividend, my divisor. 1, I don't need to look at here anymore. I need to look here. 1 is my dividend. Who is bigger? Thank you, the mean black girl. Yes, divisor. So if my divisor is bigger, I'm going to, thank you, mean black girl. I'm going to utilize 2. I need to take 2 digits. Does that make sense? So the question is 2 times what is equal to 13 or less? 2 times 6 is equal to 12. So I put 6 here. Thank you, the mean black girl. And then take away 12. I'm going to take away 12 here. That's all I'm doing. I'm taking away 12. Take away 1, take away 2. My final question. If 2 and again 1, 2 is bigger. 2 is bigger. So I need to utilize these two numbers. These two numbers, what number is that? This is 14. Those are the two numbers I need. So the question is 2 times what is equal to 14 or less? Take away 5? I don't need to take away 5. 7. 7. So I add my 7, take away 1, take away 4. My final answer is, sorry, jumped ahead. That's funny. Yes, as Neon Panther mentioned, my final answer is 1,167. Did that make sense, Alex? That's a little bit about division. We have a conversation. We need to figure out who is bigger, and then we multiply it out, and then we take away. Then that's what we just did. So that's what. Wait, what? Magic. You know what? It's logic. It's conversations. It's all about communication. Hello, Aubrey. Thank you for joining. I'm telling you. Welcome to the real world. Yeah. But see, that's the thing. And we did a lot of subtraction, but we used the abacus to help us. I kind of followed, but I realized it didn't come until the end. Yeah. It's all about shifting the hands. Okay, yeah, not a problem, David. I'll see you in the next live. Thank you for the class. Not a problem, David. I'm happy you joined. Thank you for the comments and thank you for the comments and the gifts. Thank you so much. But yeah, it's about that time. I'm about to crash a little bit. I think it's time for me to head off too and just kind of regroup. And but yeah, I've been on for about 2+ hours now. Hey, Ruben! Ruben, I'm about to leave. The mean black girl. Thank you so much for the likes and the hearts. Hopefully it makes sense. Yeah, did that make sense? The mean black girl. I have to say the whole name because I don't know if it was lovely. Yeah, yeah. Well, no, that's okay. Yeah, but you know what? I'm always on. So much sense, right? Welcome to the real world. You took the red pill. Yeah, Ruben. No, don't. Yeah, Ruben. I'll see you in my next live. I just came in. Yeah, I just came in and I was like, I'm just gonna yap a little bit, see how it goes. But yeah, we just did about much easier than I assumed. Yeah. Well, yo, don't assume, because then you're making beep out of you and me. It is easier. There's just some things you need to follow, right? There's just some like rules and guidelines you follow. When you follow the line, when you follow the guidelines, that's all it is. It's just guidelines. When you follow the guidelines, then you see how everything fits. And this is where you get into number flexibility, number fluency, and number confidence, and all that number stuff that they talk about. And as they do it, it gets easier, right? Because I've been doing it for so long, I know what questions to ask. But don't forget, I've been doing this for 20 years, right? And so what I want to do is I want to educate the world. I want to educate and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. Abacus is easy, and that's the thing. Like, we have all these math manipulatives, but we don't utilize the abacus for what it is. It's a tool to help understand. And I think and obviously the abacus is underrated. Abacus is underrated, and I think trying to go mental math, like trying to push the kids to do mental math so quickly, I think is a detriment. And I don't think that it helps the kids to go quickly to mental math. I think they need to understand how to move the beads, understand how the numbers work before they can go into mental math. Like maybe when they're in, like, I don't know, grade 7 or 8 or whatever. Abacus, the redheaded stepchild. Yes, I do believe the abacus is the redheaded stepchild. It's the forgotten one. It's the forgotten one, right? And it's one of those things like everybody's like, "Oh, you should go mental math." It's like, no, I think that's really it's overrated. I think going mental math is overrated. What we need to do is build a foundation, and the abacus builds that foundation. Miles, welcome back. But I'm about to leave. I'm just rambling now because I really do believe like there's a lot of things that happen in the mainstream math that I think that we're just pushing them too fast. We're pushing them too fast to go mental math. Like, you could do it this way, you could do it. It's like, wait, 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 hold on. Do we know how it works? You know? Oh, I'm off. Okay, good. Well, have a good day. Thanks for today. I understand math works. It's tangible and it helps to memory. Yes, exactly. Exactly. And I appreciate all the comments. I do appreciate rambling with Lynette. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Gabby. 167. Yeah. Yeah, when it comes to like trying to get abacus to align with mainstream math, I hands down abacus is better, just because we don't have to keep everything in our head. What do we do with checklists? We put it in our heads? No, we write it down, right? What do you do with a schedule? What do? You write it down. We have agendas for a reason. So why are we trying to do mental math? Why are we trying to put everything in our head? We write it down. But then the problem is we do we do we do new math. And what is new math? 70 times 50 equals 350. And there's like, okay, now you just went off to the other end. Now it gets like, okay, there's got to be some sort of medium, right? There's got to be some sort of like middle. I don't want to have, if I did like if I did 357 times that by this, right? Times that by 738. I'm not going to want to do new math. 7 times, okay, so it's at 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Times that by 700. I'm not going to want to do this. This is not nice. This is really confusing and it doesn't scale well. Whereas in abacus, we would just do 7 times 3. That's all we're going to do. 7 times 3 is 21. That's it. And I'm like, why is this new math so confusing? This is too much. This is like, oh, it annoys me. It annoys me that we have all doing this is abacus. That's it. Use the abacus for what it is. Oh, I'm done. Yeah. Yeah, it's just one of those things. I just like to, ah, yeah, boom, the truth. It doesn't scale. The new math doesn't scale. It annoys it annoys me so much. But I will stop. Okay, I will stop. I will regroup. Let me regroup. I will take, oh, Alma's not here. If Alma's here, I would talked about percentages. I realized what the problem was. I don't know if you were here for that. But yeah, we were talking about percentages and she wanted to know about percentages. So I was trying to figure that one out. I got to make a post out of that. All right. But thank you for the follow. I am going to regroup a little bit because I'm No, thank you, Beal. Thank you so much for joining. I do appreciate it. Midnight Math. Hey, Jose, welcome back. Yeah, I'm trying to do the midnight math, but I'm also trying to go early morning math. I'm trying to figure out like where all the people are. But I think I'm just gonna go live when I go live. I think I'm not gonna chase the crowd. I'm gonna wait for the crowd to come to me and be like, let's take the red pill or the blue pill. Bye, Agnes. Good. See you later, Agnes. I hope to see you soon. I really want to know more about how the kids learn in the kids learn in Sweden. Oh yeah, thank you, Neon Panther. But that was an easy one. Was it 42 plus 7? Please. That's like baby stuff. The red abacus or the blue abacus? Maybe I'll get one of those. Maybe I'll get one of those. I'll show you the red. I'll show you. Yes, welcome to the real world. That's gonna be my line. Welcome to the real world. Ah, I love him. He's so good. Such a great movie. I love that movie so much. Yeah, yeah. No, I get it. That's a good one. That's a good one. Maybe I'll do a little skit on that with my posts. The red abacus or the blue abacus. Oh, I have blue blocks. I have blue blocks. I can make a. Okay, you know what? Yeah. Do you want the blue blocks or do you want a red abacus? Maybe I'll do that. Because if you keep with the blue blocks, then you stay where you are and you stay in the teach multiplication and division on the hands. I don't know how to do that on the hands. I know how to do it on the abacus. But Soron, I am gonna head out. But yeah, I think that's what it is. I gotta find a red abacus. Or yeah, I have to find a red. I'll have to paint a abacus or something. Oh, that would be a good one. All right, okay, on the abacus. Soren, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to come into my next live. I am gonna shut this one down because I'm actually quite tired. But thank you again. Go ahead and follow me, and you'll catch me on my next live. But I am gonna sign off. Let me regroup, get some lunch, get some keep going on my books and try to get something published. But I will see you in my next live. Thank you, everybody. Teach us abacus. Teach us on the abacus multiplication and division, please. Yes. Go ahead and follow, and I'll see you in my next live. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. Midnight Mathers. Oh, that's a good one. Midnight Mathers. Ah, yeah, that's a good one. Hey, WWE, I'm gonna head out. Have a good day. I'll see you in my next live. All right. Bye. The red abacus or the blue? Oh, there were some really good ones. There were some really good comments. Oh,